Good day everyone, I am Colleen Carmona and I am your presenter for today. Before starting my presentation, first, have you already read the Sabertooth Curriculum by Harold Benjamin? If not, let me tell you something about it. The Sabertooth Curriculum generally means enjoining in traditional ways and old systems of education. It embodies people's resistance to change and hesitancy to embrace innovation, even if it is the only way for survival and what the age calls for. Sabertooth curriculum is a curriculum that applies the survival needs of the communities according to the changes that they have to adapt to. It tells that if you had any education yourself, you would know that the essence of true education is timelessness. It is something that endures through changing conditions like a solid rock, standing squarely and firmly in the middle of a raging torrent. Our topic for today is all about the curriculum essentials. First, we have the curricula in school, and the second topic is the teacher as curricularist. At the end of the discussion, you are expected to be able to first, to discuss the different curricula that exist in a school. Second, analyze the significance of curriculum and curriculum development in the teacher's classroom. And lastly, enhance your understanding of the role of the teacher as curricularist in the classroom or school. To begin with, formal, non-formal, or informal education do not exist without a curriculum. Classrooms will be empty with no curriculum. Teachers will have nothing to do if there is no curriculum. So, curriculum is at the heart of the teaching profession. In current Philippine educational system, we have different educational levels which have corresponding curricula, and these levels are: first, we have basic education; second, we have technical vocational education; and lastly, we have higher education. Now, let us move on to the different types of curricula simultaneously operating in the schools. First, recommended curriculum. Did you know that almost all curricula found in schools are recommended? For example, basic education are recommended by DepEd, higher education by CHED, and vocational education by TESDA. Other professional organizations or international bodies like UNESCO are also recommend curricula in schools. Second, written curriculum. This refers to the documents based on the recommended curriculum, such as syllabi, modules, books, or instructional guidelines. Third, taught curriculum. From what has been written or planned, the curriculum has to be implemented or taught. Kumbaga, magbibigyan ito ng buhay kung ito ay may implement. It will depend largely on the teaching style of a teacher and the learning style of the learners. Fourth, supported curriculum. This is described as support materials that the teacher needs in order for the learning and teaching effective. These are the print materials such as books, charts, posters, worksheets, or non-print materials such as PowerPoint presentations, movies, models, and other electronic illustrations. It could also be the facilities which learning occurs, such as playground, science laboratory, museum, zoo, market, or plaza. Fifth, assess curriculum. Earlier, we have taught and supported curricula, and these have to be evaluated to find out if the teacher has succeeded or not in facilitating learning. That is why after teaching a lesson, we have an assessment. It can be either assessment of learning, or assessment for learning, or assessment as learning, and these are all assessed curriculum. Sixth, learn curriculum. Here we will know the student has learned. A positive outcome of teaching is an indicator of learning. For example, if the student doesn't know how to read before then after the teaching he became a reader, it only means that there is learning. So these are measured by tools in assessment that assess cognitive, affective, and psychomotor aspect of learning. Also, remember that learned curriculum will also demonstrate higher order and critical and lifelong skills. 7. Hidden or implicit curriculum. This curriculum is not deliberately planned, but it has a great impact on the behavior of the learner. What are these? These are peer influence, school environment, media, parental pressures, societal changes, cultural practices, natural calamities, are factors that create this so-called hidden curriculum. So it is important that as teachers, we are sensitive and aware of this hidden curriculum so that we could consider those in the written curriculum. So those are the 7 types of curriculum, and all of these have significant role on the life of the teacher as facilitator of learning and have direct implications to the life of the learners. I believe curriculum still exists until now because our educational system teaches students on how to do particular tasks on their own and let them do the things which can help them to exercise their minds as well as their skills. The Sabretooth curriculum is a curriculum that applies the survival needs of the communities according to the changes that they have to adapt to. It simply means that our education system should fit with the needs of the time and serve its purpose. Education is a systematic process of learning something with the goal of acquiring knowledge, while training, on the other hand, is the process of learning something with the goal of performing a specific skill or behavior. Since that we are now distant from each other, I prefer to conduct my interview through online. Based on the interview, all of the types of curricula are present in the curriculum except the learned curriculum. And as what I have observed and also based on my interview, it is because we are now experiencing distant learning, that this time is challenging time for learning. Teachers and I think that not all students nowadays are effectively learning. Now, let us move on to the second topic, which is the teacher as curricularist. Are you aware that teacher's role in school is very complex? We all know that teachers are multitasker. We can observe it. Teachers do a series of interrelated actions about curriculum instruction, assessment, evaluation, teaching, and learning. That is why teacher has been described and called as curricularist. First, teacher knows the curriculum. So the teacher is the knower. Sabi nga, learning begins with knowing, which means a teacher has an expertise or a mastery with the subject matter. Second, teacher writes the curriculum. Teacher takes records of knowledge concepts, subject matter, or the content. These need to be written or preserved. The teacher writes books, modules, manuals, instructional guidelines, and reference material in paper or electronic media as a curriculum writer or reviewer. Third, teacher plans the curriculum. The planned curriculum will serve as a guide in the implementation of the curriculum. The role of the teacher are to make a yearly, monthly, or daily plan of the curriculum. And in planning, there are several factors which are needed to be considered, such as the learners, the support, materials, time, subject matter or content, the desired outcomes, the context of the learners, among others. In doing so, the teacher becomes curriculum planner. Fourth, teacher initiated the curriculum. As curriculum is being recommended from educational agencies for the improvement of quality education, the teacher is obliged to implement it. With the implementation, of course, it requires the open-mindedness of the teacher and full belief that the curriculum will enhance learning. Kumbaga, teacher initiates that the curriculum is the best for learning. That is why teacher is an initiator. Fifth, teacher innovates the curriculum. The curriculum is always dynamic, thus it keeps on changing. The content, strategies, and so on are needed for improvement. Therefore, teacher innovates curriculum. Thus, teacher is an innovator. 6. The teacher implements the curriculum. The curriculum that is only recommended or written is useless because it will never serve its purpose. So, it is needed to be implemented. Since teachers have the direct engagement with the learners, then they are the ones who will implement the curriculum. It is said that the success of recommended, written, or planned curriculum depends on the implementation. So, the teacher is an implementator. And lastly, teacher evaluates the curriculum. In evaluating, guide questions could be: how can one determine if the desired learning outcomes have been achieved? Is the curriculum working? Does it bring the desired results? What do outcomes reveal? Or it should the curriculum be modified, terminated, or continued? The teacher is the evaluator. Those 7 different roles are the responsibility of the teacher. That is why teacher deserves to be called as Curricularist. Based on the survey that I have conducted, 16 teachers responded and some did not to the survey. I did it through online since we are now experiencing pandemic. Some of them are my former teachers from elementary and high school. Some of them are former teachers of my friends. And the rest are teachers that I just randomly contacted through Messenger who I never met personally. 10 out of 16 are high school teachers and the rest are elementary teachers. The schools that they are teaching are Marinduque National High School, Maniwaya National High School, Bagtingon National High School, Crossing Elementary School, Puyog Elementary School, Buena Vista National High School, Santa Lucia High School, Tapuyan National High School, Holy Infant Parochial Santa Cruz Marinduque Incorporated, and Tambunan Elementary School. So, those are 10 different schools. I have surveyed my former teachers that have a degree of Doctor in Educational Management, and the other teacher has a degree of Education in Educational Leadership and Management. The rest are graduated of either Bachelor of Elementary Education or Bachelor of Secondary Education with different majors. The result of my survey shows that most of the teachers are doing their role and curriculum activities as curricularist. Least of them do not lead in implementation of the curriculum, and all of them acknowledge the needs of the learners. The activity that most of the time that most of the teachers do is knowing the content or subject matter, while the least of the time or totally they are not doing is disregarding the students' needs. With this, I conclude that it implies that most of the teachers do their role or the curriculum activities as curricularist regardless of the educational background, number of years in teaching, year level that they are teaching, and schools that they are working. It also implies that the importance of being considerate and aware with the students' needs. That's all for today. I hope you learned something. I am Colleen Carmona, your presenter for today.